Hi, welcome back to my channel. You're thinking it, I'm saying it, where we talk about everything under the sun and tie it back to God. My name's Adeswa, and let's get started. So this episode is titled My Testimony. I feel like I've been filming for over a year, and why not share my testimony? It might not be the big, explosive, oh my gosh, testimony that people are used to, but it's still a testimony at the end of the day. So we're going to start in the year 2018. Such a while ago. But I graduated from high school and I was expecting to go off straight to a 4-year. I was so excited to go get away from home. Like, I was talking about something as soon as I was going to act a buck wild. I knew I was. I was like, freedom, being an older daughter in a Nigerian home, if you know, you know. I'll just leave it at that. If you know, you know. So I was excited to get away from home. God said, my daughter, no. Because God knew. If I went off to a 4-year, I would not have a relationship with him like I do now. I definitely would have acted a fool in a 4-year away from home. So I was stuck going to community college. And I really didn't want to go to community college in the Bay, only because I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be at school with people I just went to school with, and I don't want to see any of those people. Like, I want to get away. So I was, of course, home for another 2 years, which I'm very grateful for because I learned a lot about myself within those 2 years. But I needed to end up going away. But 2019 comes. I'm working a job. I'm working a full-time job at this moment, and I was taking the bus to school. It was just easier that way, and I didn't have my license at the time. And I decided to go to my job to talk to my manager about something because I didn't have her number at the time either. I could have texted her, and so my house is walking distance from my job. So I ended up just walking home after I was done talking with my manager and shopping. If you work in retail, you're going to shop regardless of, I don't want to shop, I don't want to spend money. You're going to shop. So I'm walking home and I'm crossing the street. I could see the car coming and I could hear the car coming. I thought the car could see me. Clearly not. I'm invisible or something. But this guy had ended up hitting me with his car. So I'm like halfway out of the crosswalk and I ended up getting knocked back into the crosswalk. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, I'm trying to figure out what happened. And the guy pulls over to the side and he's like, oh my gosh, are you okay? While his passenger was calling 911. I'm still sitting there just like, I don't know what's going on. Like, I'm still confused. Like, I was just about to get on the other side. He said, oh my gosh, are you okay? Still sitting there just a little confused, like wondering what's going on. Third time he asked me, oh my gosh, are you okay? I finally look at him and bust out crying. I was like, clearly not. I'm in the crosswalk again. And so he tries to help me up to get me out of the street. And I was like, put me down. It's then that I realized my whole left leg was numb. Like, it hurt so bad. Like, it hurt to the touch. And I'm sitting there freaking out. So I called the best person I can call in that moment, my mom. Mind you, if you live in the Bay Area, you know how BART is. BART gets delayed. There's always some type of issues going on. Call my mom at work. And I'm freaking out telling her, like, I'm boohoo crying. Like, Mom, did you see me with a car? I don't know what to do. My mom on the phone freaking out too. She's telling her, I can hear in the background telling her boss, like, oh my gosh, my daughter's been hit. I need to leave. She's freaking out. BART gets delayed. So my mom calls my brother. My brother calls my sister. My sister's at the high school and it's close to our house. So my sister ends up riding behind the ambulance. And my mom calls my dad, lets my dad know. My mom, at this moment, I don't know if she knew or not that my sister was with me. But my sister's underage and you have to be 18 or older to go in the back with someone in the emergency room. So my sister's in the waiting room. So my mom calls my pastors and my pastors call my best friend to come to the hospital and wait with me or until my mom gets there. Well, everyone's freaking out because no one has an update on me. I'm in the back. No one is with me. So I'm by myself. And here my sister is just kind of like, not really like a kiki, like it's funny, but she's kind of just like laughing. Not at me, but she's just laughing. And so my best friend's like, okay, clearly I just was okay. Right, so my mom ends up making it there. My brother was there with me. My pastors did show up. And my auntie showed up. My youth pastor showed up. So a lot of people did show up. But they all ended up having to leave, of course. So I ended up only having a sprained ankle. That by itself is a testimony. I was hit with a car. The only thing that came out of that was my ankle was sprained. So of course I had to be in a cast for 3 weeks. It wasn't fun at all. But now we kind of make jokes about it like, Dash, you're the only person we know that's gonna get hit with a car. And I was like, life be lifing. So then we fast forward to 2020. So I, on accident, funny enough, ended up getting my associate's degree. I don't know how. I was just trying to leave, but I got an associate's degree. And so I ended up transferring to a 4-year in Texas. So moved here. Everything's going good. I have a car, so I'm driving and everything like that. So I went out with my friend that I met because God sent her to me. Let's talk about that. That is a testimony as well. Basically, when I first moved away from home, I was very depressed. Very, very depressed. I didn't know what to do with myself. It's my first time away from home. And I was just sad because there was nothing for me to really do. Like I didn't have any friends here, so I couldn't just go out and hang out with people. I would just go to the grocery store and come back. I didn't even know where the real grocery store was. If you went to PV, I did not know that I had to get on the freeway to go to the HEB or the Kroger's and all them other places. I just would go to that local Walmart that's there. Yuck. That's all I gotta say to that. And by the grace of God, he sent me my friend. And we're still friends to this day. I still see her as much as I can. And I'm very grateful for her. But it was me and her in the car. So we went out just shopping. Just like, okay, we don't have class right now, so we're going to go shopping. The battery in my car ended up dying. And shout out to the police officer who came and gave us a jump start. There was an AutoZone around the corner. So I went to the AutoZone. I'm a college student who does not have money like that. Spent $97 on my car to get a new battery. So me and her, once we're done, we got in the car, we're kikiing, laughing, we're like, oh my gosh, it's gonna take us, give or take, 20 minutes to get back to campus. So she's in the passenger seat, of course, and so there's a car coming, so I'm waiting before I can turn left. As I am about to turn, my friend is turning to me to say something to me. All I hear is, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Before I could even turn, next thing I know, boom, we had been T-boned. This lady T-boned my car. And I'm grateful that I sprained my wrist a little bit, but it was mostly just bruises and cuts because where my hand was resting in the car, and of course they hit the driver's side of the car. And of course my car was totaled, which I was very sad because that was my first car that I bought myself. But I'm thankful that me and my friend are both okay. We're both alive. Within that same 2020, I met a person. We're not going to name them, none of that stuff. I met a person. And I lost myself because of this person. I lost who I was. I lost basically my morals and just things about myself that I normally wouldn't do. I did because of this person. And it took until maybe 2022. Yeah, 2022. So from 2020 to 2022, beginning of 2022, I lost who I was. So one day after everything ended and it was done and finished, I looked in the mirror and I just burst down crying because I said, God, I do not recognize who I am. I don't know who this person is, but this is not this one. Also, that person was an enemy of progress. Because after everything was said and done with that person and I was finding my way back to God, I started a full-time job. I was graduating with my undergrad and I was like, oh my goodness, God is just so good because he brought me back from I would say that was a low point for me. That was a very low point for me. And he brought me back from that low point. And that's what I do. The God that I serve would never leave me nor forsake me. He was still with me. But I just need to learn my lesson. And I definitely did learn my lesson. When God shows you a sign, listen. Just listen. Do not think that you know better than God, because we don't. God was trying to tell me something and he showed me so many signs. I chose to ignore him until God said, okay, you must learn. And I learned very well. After I graduated, of course, 2023, I was living by myself. So I got my first apartment by myself and everything like that. And I also started therapy. Therapy is very helpful. I don't care what anyone says. Therapy is very helpful. And the fact that my therapist is also Christian, so she doesn't give me worldly advice. She gives me godly advice. And I'm very grateful that I was able to find myself again. and not feel like I am just this lost person and that nothing was going to go well for me. Also, 2023, I decided to take a gap year before I started my master's. And I think it's very funny that I had a lot of people doubting me that I wasn't going to go back, because they're like, oh, you know, people who take a gap year, they, you know, they never go back. And I was just like, y'all must not know who I am. My name is Adeswa Ogoyeme Oyemolun, and I am going to get my master's degree. And I just needed to take a year off, because I knew after undergrad and after everything that had just happened with me, I was like, I need to just take time off. Just no academics, nothing. Just, well, everyone was like, no, don't take a year off. You're supposed to go straight through. Just do everything straight through. That was not for me. I knew, and God knew, I needed to take that time off, because I knew that I wasn't going to be able to focus in school if I went straight through. And I'm grateful that I did take a gap year, because that gap year was 2023. So I started school again 24. And I'm getting a double master's. And it's like, no, you don't do it. Don't take a gap year. I didn't listen to them people, because I know what I need better than anyone else knew what I needed in that moment. And here I am, 2026. I have 2 more semesters and I'm done. I'm not getting not 1 but 2 master's degrees. By the grace of God, I will be graduating with not only honors, I'm getting my 2 degrees. That's nothing but God. And I would just like to say that don't let anyone tell you what you should and shouldn't do. Yes, listen to what people are saying to you, but it's up to you to take it. But most importantly, take it to God. You take it to people that are going to give you bad advice. Take it to God. And that's what I did. I took it to God, and me and God had a conversation about it. And taking that year off was helpful for me. And now God saw me through with getting my master's. And it has not been an easy journey. By the grace of God, I have been able to not only maintain A and B's, because of course it's a master's. If you get a C, you can only get 2 within the program. And I haven't gotten any, and I won't get any. I will have all A's and B's. But also that my journey is my journey at the end of the day. I'm not going to ever tell anyone that, oh, your journey needs to look like this, this, and this, because no one's journey is ever going to look the same. Your testimony is not my testimony. My testimony is not your testimony. And I pray that my testimony helps someone realize that no matter what comes in this life, God will never leave you, nor will he forsake you. Just know that when you're going through anything, God is always with you. Sometimes you need to look and see, is this a lesson, or is God trying to tell me something? A lot of times it's a lesson. And the things that happen are the consequences of your actions. Because if God's telling you to do A, and you decided, I want to go and do D, that's your problem. Listen the first time God tells you. Take it from me. I didn't listen. God told me 4 times. I didn't listen. So that 5th time God said, listen. And I learned. Well, that's the end of this episode. I hope you enjoyed hearing my testimony, and I pray that all of our testimonies are just showing us that God's goodness will never leave us. Bye. See you next time.